BNP Paribas, partenaire des plus belles histoires de Roland-Garros, aux côtés des ramasseurs de balles depuis plus de 50 ans.
Obviously not the result you would want today, but how was it playing out there, especially with the French crowd?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really great atmosphere. I felt like the crowd was really good. They were being, you know, supportive, but I felt respectful at the same time. So it was a really nice atmosphere. But yeah, I mean, I think it definitely helped her kind of pull through at certain parts that were really tough there. And yeah, just I guess disappointed with the result, but it is what it is.
You obviously had a few times where you could have gotten back in that third set later. Just what do you think was happening on those shots that didn't go your way?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. It was windy. She was hitting a lot of just like really high balls, low slices, and you know, you have to commit to your shots, and if you don't commit, then you miss them, or maybe she gets a chance to be offensive, and it was just like I was kind of walking that line like the entire match, but specifically even more kind of at the end of the second and into the third. And yeah, I mean, I guess I could have been maybe a little bit more aggressive, but at the same time, you know, you're trying to make her play and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that back and forth battle kind of going on in your head.
Tough luck. When you're playing a player that's sort of inexperienced, hasn't been up here before, I imagine you haven't seen much video of her or could do much scouting of her because she's so unknown. What sort of challenges does that present to you, or what did it present to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just don't know, too, maybe like how they're going to play in the pressure moments or big points as much. But I think we got enough like footage of her. I mean, she's won several matches here, so we had a pretty good idea of what was going to happen. So it's not like I was surprised by any chance, but I think it always makes it a little difficult because they just don't have a ton of matches, and you know, you maybe don't know, you know, how they're playing certain points or certain matches a certain way, or you know, how they play against certain players and stuff like that. But I felt like this week we kind of had a pretty good idea, to be honest.
And can I just follow up and ask you, like, so how do you size her up, and what did surprise you about what she brought to the court?
I mean, I honestly don't think I was that surprised by how she played. I felt like the match turned into exactly how she wanted to play, and that's unfortunate for me. I think I did a good job in the first set, but at the same time, she definitely, you know, served better. I felt like the first set she missed every drop shot, and then the second and third she made every single one, and I didn't really do a good job with those points. But I felt like she honestly played how I thought she would play. You know, look for forehands, hit super high, super heavy. You know, at times, and I had like a million chances, and it just didn't go my way in those kind of big moments.
You said this a bit in your opening answer, but I think this is your first time playing a French player here, and obviously in that kind of close match to the atmosphere. So just what was it like as a cultural experience? I mean, yeah, I mean, I think once the match kind of got going, at the beginning it wasn't that much, but then, you know, end of the second and the third, it was like a full stands, and obviously for her. So I mean, it was a great atmosphere, and you know, like I said, I didn't feel like they were being disrespectful at all. I felt like it was a really fun and good atmosphere. You know, obviously for her, but at the same time, it was great. I thought it was really nice.
Hey Jessica, could you describe her heavy forehand? I think it's maybe her strength here.
Yeah, I mean, all she wants to do is hit forehand. So she's really good at moving. I mean, she's really fast. So she's really good at running around to get her forehand, and, you know, also covering the forehand side. And yeah, she hits it pretty heavy. I mean, it's super high and heavy when she wants to, when she needs to get back in the point, and then she's able to kind of use her drop shot and slice, and she's really quick. So I think it keeps her in a lot of points, and I think she did that really well today.
Hi Jessica, have you been impressed by your opponent's performance today, and what level do you think she can reach in the future?
Yeah, I mean, again, she played really well. She's, I think, won a lot of matches, it seems like, recently, even if it's at a lower level and not at a WTA level, but it doesn't really matter when you're winning matches, and the way she plays, you know, being tough in those moments really helps. So I thought she did a good job of that today. And Yeah, I mean, she plays like that. I mean, I think she'll do well, especially on the clay. I don't know how she does on other surfaces. I have no idea, but I would imagine clay is definitely going to be her best surface.
Hi. So at the clay court season over, since you live in the U.S., clay court season, it's kind of a little bit long way away from your home, and I know you have been doing this for long, but this year we have like a back-to-back 2 weeks Masters tournament, Madrid and Rome. So can you talk a little bit about that, how that kind of road is tough for you, or it doesn't matter for you or not?
No, yeah, I'm not a fan of the 2-week tournaments. I think it makes everything really long. Grand Slams is already really long, and so now to do 2 weeks Madrid, 2 weeks Rome, and then 2 weeks here is really tough. But that's the way it is now, and of course it's always better when you're winning a lot of matches because the days and the weeks go by much faster. If you're losing somewhat early or in the first week, and then you're seeded and you don't play till really late in the next week, that can be kind of tough. It just gets tough being on the site and traveling in between tournaments, and you're just kind of Groundhog Day trying to train, the usual. But so I feel like it kind of depends on how you do. It's been a little tough, I guess, this year for me because Madrid and Rome didn't go like particularly amazing. I won some matches, but again, the weeks kind of in between get kind of long, which is why I played, Strasbourg. But it's a tough kind of stretch for the Americans for sure.
Hi, Jessica. I have another question about her forehand. I was just looking at the stat, and you played a lot of ball in her forehand, much more than the previous opponent. I was just wondering if it was a tactic from you, maybe to go on the forehand and to finish the point on the other side on the backhand. Was it a tactic? Or?
I don't know. Maybe that was my problem. Because that's not really what I was trying to do. But, I mean, she makes it really tough. When she's hitting high and heavy, it's not that easy to change the direction back to her backhand. So, if you kind of got stuck, I was trying to, move her to the forehand and then move her to the backhand, which I thought I did pretty well, for majority of the match, just, again, not well enough to kind of on the big points. And when I was getting up in games, it just kind of wasn't doing it. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that seems like maybe that was an issue.